जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णे शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ. O gods, may we always hear with our ears what is auspicious. O worshipful ones, may we with our eyes always see what is auspicious. May we live our allotted life hale and hearty, offering our worship unto thee. May Indra of ancient fame bestow auspiciousness on all of us. May the all-nourishing portion be propitious to all of us. May Garuda, the destroyer of all evil, be well disposed towards all of us. May Brihaspati ensure all our welfare. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. We have been studying the Kaivalya Upanishad. There was a Adhikarika Purusha, a very fit person. His name was Ashvalayana. He wanted to realize Brahman. He approached Bhagavan Parameshti, Brahma himself, and he surrendered himself at the lotus feet of the Guru. And then he asked, how can I realize God or Brahman? And the Sadguru, being Parameshti himself, who is Brahman himself, who is the first Guru in the Guru Sishya Sampradaya, who started this tradition of teacher and the disciple. This is called also Shruti Parampara. He started teaching, and this is a small Upanishad, but we get exactly the same thing with different types of disciples in the Mundaka Upanishad. There also Parameshti was described as the starter of a Guru Sishya Sampradaya tradition. That is why it is extremely important for us to follow a Guru who belongs to a Sampradaya. If any Guru claims, I have not studied any books, I have realized God all by myself, and some of them are expert psychologists. They know how to capture the minds of the people. They can help psychologically. And that is very suitable for many of them. But when it comes to spiritual guidance, without a Guru who doesn't come from the Guru Sishya Parampara system, reject that person as completely useless. That is why did Sri Ramakrishna take to sannyasa? Was it really necessary for him? As he was without sannyasa, was he a Paramahamsa or not? It took a long time for Totapuri, even for Bhairavi Brahmani, let alone to speak of other people. It took a long time in recognizing he was a Paramahamsa long before he took sannyasa. What qualities even they lacked, even at this advanced stage of being appointed as the teachers of Sri Ramakrishna, They had not completely acquired some of the qualities necessary. They did not understand. Surrender at the feet of the Divine Mother or Mahamaya is the only way to get rid of this bondage. We are not going to get Brahmagnanam. We have never lost it. But the thought, the opposite thought, that I am not Brahman. That is what happens in the case of every madcap. I am so and so is forgotten and is replaced by I am so and so. That is why Ramakrishna took sannyasa. Why did he take sannyasa? To prove once more to the whole world. If you want right guidance, others perhaps can guide you to some extent, but finally we have to approach, and God will arrange it when we are ready. Guru also will be ready. Then a guru who is coming from a tradition, he alone can help us. As Sri Ramakrishna used to say, so many gurus are there. They are not coming from the Guru Sishya Sampradaya. They are like mushrooms. They come, shine for some time like lightning, and go out. And when they go out, people rarely remember them as something great. But nobody can forget a guru that is coming from the Guru Sishya Sampradaya tradition. That is why Ramakrishna had to take to sannyasa. As we all know, first time he realized Brahman purely through complete self-surrender to the Divine Mother. But second time, if you remember, he adopted our methodology, surrendering ourselves at the feet of lotus feet of a guru. And the marvelous thing is, the miraculous thing is, Sri Ramakrishna never went anywhere. All the gurus came to him, all the equipment came to him. The temple itself was built for the sadhana of Sri Ramakrishna. The Divine Mother had arranged it. My child requires these things, and long before he was born, she has been making things happen that will ultimately lead to Rani Rasmani constructing the temple. And when the right time came, nobody could take the responsibility excepting the eldest brother of Sri Ramakrishna, Ram Kumar. And very soon he passed away, handing over that charge to Sri Ramakrishna himself. So this is what is going to happen in future, because it happened in the past, it is going to happen in the present. You can take any number of helps from even a wise person, a wise teacher, father and mother. Even though they are not God realized souls, experience can give them a lot of wisdom. You can, we can take help from psychologists also, only to that extent. And there are many people who blindly fall into the clutches of psychologists. These are called psychologist gurus. They themselves assume the roles of a guru because they know how to manipulate the minds of the people. And as is said, both guru and sishya andhenaiva niyamana yatha. This is called not guru parampara, but andha parampara. So we have seen in our last class, slowly Bhagavan Parameshti was leading this Ashvalayana, what type of qualities he must achieve. And once a person is ready, then Shravana is given. What is Shravana? Thou art that. And that has been given in the earlier mantras which we have seen, though not directly given, but pointing to the same fact. There is only one way, realize Brahman, and you will be free from the shackles, the bondage, the net of the samsara. And the only way is complete self-surrender. And then in the 11th mantra, he follows the yogic method. What was the yogic method? Earlier we have seen that once the aspirant is ready, he will be given the enlightening mantra, Taraka mantra. That is called, you are seeking your own self. You are the Brahman. So that is why this is Atmanam Aranim Krutva Pranavam cha Uttararanim Gnana Nirmathana Abhyasa Papam Dahati Panditaha. Each word is a pregnant with deep meaning. So he says Atmanam Aranim Kritva Pranavam cha Uttara Aranim Gnana Nirmathana Abhyasa Papam Dahati Panditaha. Here the word Papa has nothing to do. If you do Punya Karma, then that will give you Sukha. If you do what we call expiatory rites, that is how to get rid of Papas, Shanti Karma, or that which can counter Papa Karma. So this is called Prayaschitta. Very interesting word. Chitta means mind. Prayaha means what? How it was earlier, before a person committed something wrong. So by performing certain actions, either prayers or Shanti Karmas or Punya Karmas, somehow he will overcome the what we call guilty feeling, and he will get back the earlier mind. Here, Vedanta, without any doubt, proclaims something very interesting. If somebody commits anything wrong, his conscience always feels guilty. We may suppress it, but it cannot be suppressed. So it manifests itself in the form of regrets, sleeplessness, restlessness, and inability to climb any further. Unless one gives up the lower step, one can never climb to the higher step. So it is not possible for these people to go forward without doing any prayaschitta. That is why one of the panchakarmas, nitya, naimittika, then kameshti karmas, then nishiddha karma. That means one should not do, and one must put forth tremendous effort not to give in to temptations and wrong actions, and of course, prayaschitta. So all these things are done, then this person is ready. His only goal in life, like Sri Ramakrishna, intense yearning for Brahman realization. What does he do? Atmanam aranim kritva pranavam cha uttara aranim gnana nirmathana abhyasa papam panditaha papam dahati. Here papam means we are not talking about ordinary papa. The word papa can be applied to three types of actions. When anybody performs evil actions called papam, that is one type of papam. If anybody does punya karmas, that is second type of papam. If anybody does not overcome avidya, maya, ahankara, avidya, and maya are synonymous. So these three are catalogued in the class of papa. It is not merely papa. Why punyam is called papam? Because from the worldly point of view, punyam is a marvelous thing. But from the spiritual point of view, punyam is punya karma. Punya karma will give punya phalam. And when punya phalam is given, what is called rebirth is inevitable. So here papa means ignorance, avidya, though the very root cause of the samsara. That is how Patanjali Yoga Rishi, avidya, asmita, raga, vesha, avinivesha. The very root is avidya, not knowing, forgetting what we are. Smriti is lost. That is why Arjuna, in response to Krishna's question, categorically declares, Nashto moha smriti labdha tat prasadat mayachita. Only by your grace, smriti, I have returned, I have regained back. I remember now. I am not Arjuna. I am Atman. Bhishma is not Bhishma. He is also Atman. Duryodhana, he is also Atman. There is no one, nothing in this world which is not Atman. So this is called Papam Dahati Panditaha. How does he burn, destroy completely? Because if we destroy a little, again it has a tendency to be reborn. Papam will come again. Like Prayaschitta Karma is okay for getting rid of temporarily the guilty conscience. But we have to burn the very samskara which is causing us again and again. That seed itself has to be completely destroyed. This is called uprooting the very tree of samsara sagara. So for that purpose, one has to do gnana nirmathana abhyasat. Nirmathana means like the milk ocean churning, which we discussed in other classes. Abhyasa. How long? Until we reach the goal, abhyasa has to be done. How long sadhana has to be done? Until we reach the goal. And what is the abhyasa we have to do? Churning. What churning? Gnanam will be the upper fire stick, pointed fire stick. Agnanam, that is ahankara, will be the lower piece of wood, arani. As I mentioned earlier, in our Vedic times when rishis and munis used to do a lot of yajna, yagas, etc., they have fire, but they want fresh fire and not any fire. They just don't light up something from the existing fire. Afresh, they have to create that fire, and they have discovered there are certain types of firewood, and if you can rub them together in a particular way, and they did it like our drilling, a modern carpenter drills. Like that, this person drills. And then slowly the piece of wood gets very hot, and then slowly smoke comes out, then sparks come out. This is called or the job of the arant. And that yajna, after that fire is lit and it is made to blaze forth, and many offerings are given to different gods, goddesses. That is the karmakanda business. But this yajna, the meaning of the inner meaning of the yajna, yaga, has been elevated by the time man had dived deep into deep thinking. And then that is what we get in the fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, nearly 12 types of gnana yagnas, including pranayama, etc. But the best is Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam, Brahma eva tena gantavyaha, Brahma karma samadhina. And that is the finale. That is the finish. That is the highest. So that is what he said, Jnana Nirmatana Abhyasa. What happens when the fire is blazing? Put forth anything. And what am I to put forth? What are we to put forth? What is any sadhaka to put forth? Whether he is a Hindu or Christian or Muslim or Buddhist or Sikh or Jain or anybody, just put forth what is called ahankara. That kara has to be removed. Aham cannot be removed because aham is pure Brahman. But whatever we add to that aham dehaha, aham manaha, aham dhani, like that in the 16th chapter, they have more or less very good description of the asuri qualities. That is, all manifestations. To put it in simple words, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. These are called karas. By the way, they are not six separate enemies. They are six manifestations of the same ahankara. When a person feels terrible desire for something, he is a kami. And when he gets angry, frustrated and angry, that is called krodha. And when he becomes incapable of enjoying, but he doesn't want to give up, and his joy lies only in accumulating, he is called a lobhi. And then he becomes terribly attached. He is called a mohi. And then he becomes very proud. Mada, I am very rich man. I have so many things. I am the greatest. Sri Ramakrishna used to give a funny example. He used to give that once a frog somehow acquired a rupee, and it was in its hole, small hole, a small frog, not even a big frog. And then one day an elephant was passing over it. Of course, it did not notice, and it walked over, was walking over the whole of this frog, and the elephant, the frog, peeped out very angrily. Hey, look whom you are crossing. Don't you know? I'm one of the richest beings here. I have got 1 rupee. Of course, the elephant will never hear. What is that elephant? Forgetfulness, death, unconsciousness. So, who is a rich man when a person is sleeping in deep sleep, when a person is unconscious, when a person is dead? Who is a rich person? So, this is called Jnana Nirmathana Abhyasa. That is completely burning out whatever we add after aham. That is called ahankara. That is called avidya. Avidya is the root cause why we do that, and it comes in the form of avidya asmita. I am a man, I am a woman, I am a rich person, I am a learned person, I am having a lot of power, my job is very high, I am head of the department, I am a PhD, permanent head damaged person. So like that, it goes on adding. Some people's visiting cards, calling cards they call it, if you see that the more such bondages, the smaller becomes the script. It is impossible to read what he is of all these things. So that is what has to be destroyed. Then what remains? Aham alone remains. And that aham is nothing but pure Brahman. And that is indicated here. Until how long have we to go on churning? Until all the karas are completely destroyed. And this great truth is being said here, Atmanam Aranim Kritva Pranavam Cha Uttararanim. That is, approach a Sadguru, get the Upadesha, that Upadesha becomes the upper Arani, the guiding light, nothing but God. And what is the lower one? Whatever is obstructing, opposing, pulling a person down, all the unspiritual tendencies, samskaras, they have to be completely brought down. This is called churning. And this churning, in other words, is called what we call upasana. The purpose of upasana is to become one with the object of our contemplation. So that is the final purpose. But as we progress, one after the other, this Annamaya Kosha, as we have seen in the case of Brigu, Annamaya Kosha has fallen. Pranamaya kosha is transcended, Manomaya kosha is transcended, and Vijnanamaya kosha, where Ahankara, the seat of Ahankara, that is also transcended. Then Anandamaya kosha, which we get in what we call deep sleep, that is also transcended. And what remains is called Atmananda, real Ananda. Even this Ananda Maya Kosha, Kosha means limitation, Kosha means container. Like a sword is kept in a scabbard, and you cannot keep a huge axe in that scabbard unless you make it a bigger scabbard. The scabbard of a sword can only contain, because it is small, only a sword. That also depends, small sword, medium sword, bigger sword, etc., etc. So this is called churning. What is churning? It is called mananam. What is mananam? The Guru tells me that I am Brahman, but my experience is I am the body. I can never forget I am the body. I can never forget I am the mind. I can never forget this is my beautiful car, beautiful house, beautiful wife, beautiful husband, etc., etc. So all those things, no, whatever belongs outside, it is called adibhautika. Whatever is inside, that is called adhyatmika. And if you go still deep, that is called adidaivika. And what remains, that is called pure Brahman. And to make this understanding, so as we have seen, it is more or less a condensation, a summary of the Pranava Upasana of the Mandukya Karika. For that purpose, in our last class, I devoted quite a chunk of time. In Vedic times, 5 types of upasanas have become prevalent. Of them, what are they? Pratima Upasana, contemplation of a very gross manifestation, a Krishna, an image of Krishna, or a picture of Krishna. So this is called Pratima, means a concrete three-dimensional picture or etc. But if it is an icon, for example, swastika, salagrama, shivalinga, etc., that is called pratika upasana. Then we have also seen sampadupasana, that is, take an inferior object and superimpose all the attributes of Bhagavan on it and make it. Sampad means what? Really, sampad means wealth. Here, sampad means end of it, superimpose it, even though it is not there. In our mind, some superimpose, for example, saligrama, upon it is superimposed. This is not a piece of stone. This is Bhagavan Vishnu, Bhagavan Rama, etc., which we have given examples how Kshudiram himself was begged by Rama, take care of me, and there was saligrama. This is very common, and as a pratika upasana, cross is one, the moon is one in the Islam. So many things are there. And turning to the West is also a pratika, even though they deny, they do not understand it. So sampad means superimposing something superior on an inferior object is called sampad upasana. Then we have adhyasa upasana. What is the difference? Adhyasa upasana, we take very superior object like the sun, etc., and we say sun is Brahman, mind is Brahman, etc. I gave the example also. Then finally, ahangraha upasana. What is it? I am Brahman. So you light a lamp and go on think this Jyoti, Jyotira Jyoti Ujjvala Hridi Kandara, Jyotisham Jyotirekam. I am the light of the lights. I am that light of the lights. This is called aham graha upasana. 5 types of upasanas. And Sri Ramakrishna, as I mentioned, started with Pratima Upasana. Then he progressed into Pratika Upasana. As I mentioned, Shudiram just saw a pot with some cool water, and some mango leaves, that becomes Mother Shitala, Goddess Shitala. Sampadupasana. And Shudiram had got the Saligrama. This is Lord Vishnu himself is receiving my adoration, my puja. Adhyasa Upasana. So Saligrama is also Adhyasa Upasana, but Sri Ramakrishna must have meditated upon the sun, the Kalabhairava, Divine Mother Kali, etc. Ahangraha. Finally, Totapuri came and said, Thou art Brahman, Tat Tvam Asi, thou art that. And immediately, I am that. This is called Ahangraha Upasana. And there is no other way. All of us have to move through that way. Since we are following the path of bhakti, we have got in the Pratima Upasana itself, we have Pratima and Pratika. Combined, we have got 4 stages. First is mere japam, focus on the sound symbol. Then Rupa Dhyana, this is called Nama Dhyana, Japa Dhyana. Then called Rupa Dhyana, meditate upon the form, and that requires tremendous amount of concentration. You have to distinguish your Ishtadevata. Suppose he is Krishna, should not look like Rama, should not look like Jesus Christ. Very interesting. Whenever Sri Ramakrishna had meditated consistently upon any incarnation of God, that particular incarnation came with the popular concept that his face will be like that, his wearing apparel will be like this, everything. So this is how he finally, now what is called Rupa Upasana. But then we have so many defects, they have to be replaced. This is called Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Pratipaksha Bhavanam. If somebody wants to get rid of egotism, you meditate upon another person who is extremely humble, like Nag Mahashaya. I'll give you a small example, which umpteen number of times I have given, and I will be giving also for our remembrance. Once a rich man in his village there, not there, it is, I forget the name, it is near Dhaka. And a rich man came and started speaking ill of Sri Ramakrishna. And that man did not listen in his arrogance. So Nag Mahashaya could not tolerate the ninda of his own guru. So we also, whatever our guru, we have to consider Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, never tolerate. Shut the mouth of the other person who is trying to lower or find fault or make him inferior, etc. It doesn't matter what the guru is. Really, he may be inferior. But in my eyes, he is Bhagavad, like Pativratya. Every wife is supposed to consider her husband, whatever he may be. He may be a drunkard, he may be a lecherous fellow, he may be a miser, he may be abusing her or kicking her. But in my eyes, he is Paramananda. He is no less than Sachidananda. That is called Pativratya. Thereby, don't think a woman will be suffering. She will be elevating herself. That is her sadhana, easiest sadhana for her. Because anyway, in the past, women were forced to live with their husbands. Now it is a different issue. So the symbolism we have been discussing upon these things. Guna, whatever guna we are, that is durguna, that is asuric quality, we find it difficult. Don't go on saying, I want to get rid of it, I want to get rid of it, I want to get rid of it, I don't want to be angry, I don't want to be angry. It will make us only more angry. Just think of Bhagavan Buddha. What a Shantamurti, Saumya Murti. And then this is called Pratipaksha Bhavanam. This is called Gunadhyanam. Finally, when we are ready, our mind is ready to move from the concrete to the abstract. And only when we become fit, when we acquire Daivi Sampat, are we fit to move forward. And that is called Adhikaritva, a fit person. Then only Guru will come and give the mantra. In the case of the Gnani, says, you are Brahman or you are Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma, etc. But if it is a Bhakta, what does he do? You are a devotee. Your Ishta Devata is Krishna. Your Ishta Devata is Devi. Your Ishta Devata is Kali. Your Ishta Devata is Shiva. Your Ishta Devata is Ram Krishna, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Jesus Christ, or Buddha. And even sometimes we may not accept that one. But whatever the very moment we go to a guru, it indicates that whatever you teach me, that would be Vedavakya for me. After that, it will not do to doubt the Paramaguru, Guru. Otherwise, we will not simply progress. We have to accept sooner or later. So this is then that is called Swarupa Dhyanam. Swarupa means Sat, Chit, Ananda. Whatever exists, that is Brahman. Wherever you see knowledge, that is Brahman. Is a stone having knowledge? Yes. Otherwise, how do you know it is a stone? A stone has got stone knowledge, a table has got table knowledge, and a river has got river knowledge. According to Hindus, everything is outcome of the combination of Panchabhutas. So it doesn't matter what it is. Everything is Brahman only. Ultimately, everything has an effect upon us. A marvelous subject, even a carpet, even a cot, even a mattress, even a blanket, even a friend, even parents, even children. Anybody can be a source of happiness or a source of unhappiness also. So many wonderful stories are there. I feel like telling you a story, but not today, maybe some other time from the Bhagavata Mahatmya. So, what is it? Is it steps, 5 steps. Pratima, Pratika, Sampad, Adhyasa, Ahamgraha. Then slowly we are overcoming Ahankara. That is called really blessing. Bless people without realizing. They go on asking, Swami, please bless me. And some Swami had defined what is bless? Be less. That means slowly reduce your. That is the meaning of namaskara. That is the meaning of pranama. That is the meaning of Ashtanga pranama or Ashtanga pranama. So coming back to the symbolism behind this arani. What is the arani? The lower arani is the egotism. The upper arani is the pranava, meaning omkara, which is the sound symbol of the infinite life, the self-divine. When these two are united together, what is it? The lower world and the higher world. The lower arani is jiva and the higher arani is paramatma. Parama. Jiva and parama. And you have to remove jiva and parama from both. What remains? From jivatma, if we remove jiva, atma. From the paramatma, if we remove parama, it will be atma. There are no two atmas. What remains is one, and that is called Brahman. This is called churning. And with this background, if we can meditate upon the Kshira Sagara Mathana, how women churn for butter. Same analogy is taken. Human life is the Sagara. And in this, Devas are there, Asuras are there. Good qualities are there, evil qualities are there. But if we want to realize God, we cannot divide the mind. A house divided by itself cannot stand together. There is a beautiful English saying. So a mind that is divided can never achieve anything, whether it is a scientist, a musician, a Vedantin, whatever be the person. It is only what we call complete ekagrata. There should be no division at all. That is why Bhagavan Vishnu has advised the Devas make friends, and then who was supporting this? That is, without whose grace this manthana, this churning cannot be carried on. It is only by the grace of Ishvara Anugraha Deva Pumsam Advaita Vasana, Adhyatmika Vasana. It is not possible, even if you want to be a devotee. Remember, it is the grace of God alone. His grace has fallen, and that gives rise to that samskara. I must become a devotee of God. I must surrender myself. And who gives the energy to make the effort to surrender myself? Only Bhagavan's grace. This has been beautifully expounded by Bhagavan Ramanuja in his Sharanagati Gadya. He says, so beautifully, he says, Anukulasya sankalpaha, pratikulasya varjanam, prakshishyasi iti vishvasaha. What is it called? Prakshishyasi iti vishvasaha. Then choosing God, that he goptrutva varanam atmanikshepaha karpanye iti shadvidha sharanagatihi. But the most interesting point is that all these 5 qualities, God alone can save me. I choose God. But how does this come? Only when I follow, without deviating even in the little bit. Follow what? Vidhi and Nisheda of the scriptures. That is indicated by Anukulasya Sankalpaha. I promise God, I will do only what pleases you. And I will never lift even my little finger, even if I am dying. That which brings antagonism, enmity, or your, what is called, gracelessness from you, or which will make you far away from you. No, I will not do that. Only for such a person, ultimately he finds Papa cannot save him, Punya cannot save him, God alone can save him, and naturally there is no other way. So he has to choose only God. That is called choosing God, because nothing else can save. And then, having chosen God, what should the person do? Now, complete Sharanagati. This is called Atmanikshepaha. That is completely transfer your burden. Means what? Your body, your mind, which is nothing but your ahankara, my ahankara, anybody's ahankara. And like a baby, like a young one of a kitten, Marjara Kishora Nyaya. So that is called indicated Goptrutva Varanam. And then the 6th one, part of this Sharanagati Gadya. What does he say? Karpanye, with the greatest humility. Oh Lord, I've been able to achieve all these things only through your grace. And this is what is the most marvelous thing we have to understand in this 6th, which mantra is that? Just a minute. In the 11th mantra. Then further, we get the same things everywhere reflected, how one has to do this rubbing. And I just will quote from the Bhagavad Gita, especially 6th chapter, following the Patanjali Yoga. And those who are studying, most of you are studying Bhagavad Gita in the sixth chapter, which is called Dhyana Yoga, from the 7th until practically 18th shloka. जितात्मानः प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु तथा मान अपमानयोः ज्ञानविज्ञानतृप्तात्मा कूटस्थः विजितेन्द्रियः युक्तः इत्युच्यते योगी समलोष्ट अश्मकाञ्चनः सुहृन्मित्रारुदासीन मध्यस्थद्वेष्यबन्धुषु साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते योगी युञ्जीत सततम् आत्मानं रहसि स्थितः एकाकी यतचित्तात्मा निराशी aparigraha. Then only after acquiring this daivi sampat, then only shucha udeshe pratishthapya sthiram asanam atmanah natyuchritam natinicham chailajina kushottaram tatra ekagram manah kritva yata chitta indriya kriya upavishya asane yunjat yogam atma vishuddhai. Here what is this practice of yoga? That is what is called Uttararani, Atharani. That is what is said. There is no other way. And then we also get so many qualities are there until the 19th sloka. Then the mind becomes, if we practice all these things, how do we know that we have succeeded? In the 19th sloka. Yatha deepo nivatastho na ingate sa upama smrta yogino yatachittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha, just as a flame in a windless place does not flicker even a little bit. Similarly, the mind of a yogi. Yogi means we had acquired all those qualities that have been very briefly that quoted in the Bhagavad Gita, which I just now quoted. Such a yogi never wavers in its concentration on the self. It means concentration is impossible if all those qualities are not really acquired. The only saving point is if we try to acquire one good quality, and every good quality comes with a gang of good qualities and they help. Similarly, if you have one bad quality and it never comes alone, it also comes with a lot of its friends. So if anybody says, I have only one bad quality, and he doesn't know what he is talking about. So only after all these preliminaries are completely fulfilled, that the spiritual fire blaze forth, burning Maya into ashes. That is the real meaning of Bhasmadharana. I have to delve a little bit into this. You know, Shiva Bhaktas, they do Bhasmadharana. What about Vishnu Bhaktas? They put Nama. That is 3-pointed. What is it? What is the meaning of symbolism of this Nama? For the Vaishnavas, pointing upward, that is the Sthula Sharira, the Sukshma Sharira, the Karna Sharira, must always look only towards the Divine Lord Vishnu. That is, such a person is Vishnu Bhakta, Vaishnava. And to remind other people also, is your body devoted to God? Is your mind devoted to God? Is your Karana Sharira devoted to God? What does it mean? Karana Sharira being devoted to God? Because a sadhaka, when he sleeps, he just sleeps. Of course, very difficult for us to understand. How could he do that? Because a person who has acquired all these spiritual qualities, do you know what happens to that person? I will give you a small example. First of all, there is a special type of Buddhism called Zen Buddhism. Zen Buddhism means Dhyana Buddhism, who emphasize Dhyana. And this person, he approached his guru and he said, what is the real reason for your happiness? I see you always happy. And he says that when it is winter, I say it is winter. When it is summer, he says, I say it is summer. That means I accept everything. There is no conflict in the mind at all. That having no conflict in the mind, no division in the mind by any alien thought, that is called Advaita. Even Vaishnavas also require Advaita in this sense, that their thoughts, tanu, mana, dhana, everything must be totally pointing only towards God. So, for Shiva Bhaktas, what happens? That a person must get out of the attachment, not committing suicide, because suicide brings great papa and the person will be reborn again. So, what is called getting rid of attachment to this Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. That is, burning all the three bodies completely. Bhasma, Jnanagni, Sarvakarmani, Bhasmasat Kurute Yatha. There is a beautiful sloka. This Jnanagni, Shivagni, that is what he says. Mano buddhyahankara chittani aham shivoham shivoham. So then when we burn, just as we burn a physical body, the whole place becomes, we burn all the three bodies, not one body. Otherwise, there will be punarjanma will be there. Then that becomes the Mahasmashana. The whole world must be made into a Mahasmashana. And whatever we have burnt with, that bhasma should be worn on the forehead, indicating to anybody that I have completely reduced my attachment to my body, Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. There is no attachment at all. My mind has become it in oneness, one-ment with Shiva. Shivoham, Shivoham. That is the meaning of the Bhasma. 3 lines drawn across. And to remind others that until you reduce all your Sthula, Sukshma, Karana Shariras, you are not going to attain Shiva. That is why it is said Shiva always roams in smashanas. What does that mean? That means Shiva there is no Sthula Sharira, there is no Sukshma Sharira, there is no Karana Sharira. What remains is called smashana. What is smashana? A mind which doesn't experience anything of the Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. That is called Mahasmashana. And this topic has been so beautifully described in the Mandukya Upanishad, which we have been dealing with since so many, nearly 131 or 132 classes we have taken so far. It's a profound Upanishad. The very thing is, this Omkara has 4 states. Rather, there is a 4th state is called Turiya. Turiya is not a state. Turiya is that which experiences. Turiya plus Sthula Sharira is called Jagrat Prapancha. Turiya plus Sukshma Sharira. When Turiya percolates, manifests, that is called Swapna Avastha, Swapna Loka. And when the same Turiya is identified with Karana Sharira, that is called Sushupti Avastha. And every human being, any creature, any prani, any living creature has no option but only to go through these 3 states. So there is something very interesting we have to know. Swami, do you mean to say that even a mosquito also has Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and Karana Sharira? Of course. It has all the 3. Does it? A mosquito sleep? Absolutely. Have you not seen? Once it takes all the amruta from you, blissfully it will be sleeping then and there, immediately. You are also sleeping, it is also sleeping. It wants to share that experience with you, or it wants you to share that experience with it, whatever way you put it, every creature. Now scientists are slowly waking up. Animals have languages, though they may be limited, and they have dreams, and they have discrimination, and they also go into deep sleep, and they have also filmed how a dolphin sleeps in a big tank. It is always have to keep one eye open for sensing dangers, like your security camera. So one eye is open, the other is completely asleep, and that is how it gets rest. So slowly it goes down. The moment its fin touches the bottom of the tank, immediately it comes out awake. Simultaneously, the other eye opens, and this eye, which has been keeping a watch, it is shut down, and it rises to the surface, and again slowly it goes and goes down, and many hours it goes on doing like this. And what further discoveries the scientists are going to uh, discover in future, God alone knows. And the more science is discovering, the more we feel astounded and we get more knowledge. What is that knowledge? After all, we are not that different from other creatures. They may be limited. We may be a little less limited, but both of us are under this Mahamaya, Brahma Chakra, and everything is evolving. At one time, we were also like that, and that brings in fellow feeling, sympathy, and less cruelty, and more moral life, more tendency to share everything with everything else. This beautiful idea that how that one Turiya Atma, which is, as I said, sometimes it is defined as a fourth state, is not a state at all. It is the one which, when associated, it experiences Sthula Sukshma Karana, Jagrat Swapna Sushupti, but there are moments when it is not. And at that time, it knows Aham Brahmasmi. How this happens and similar ideas we'll discuss in our next class. Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagatgurum Padapadme Tayo Saritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. May Ramakrishna Holy Mother and Swami Vivekananda bless us all with bhakti. Jai Ramakrishna.